The Testament of Yudah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. Yudah's mighty deeds. The copy of the words of Yudah, what things he spake to his sons before he died. They gathered themselves together, therefore, and came to Yudah. And he said to them, Hearken, children, to Yudah your father. Yudah was the fourth son born to his father Jacob, and Leah his mother named him Yudah, saying, She gave thanks to the overseer, because he had given her a fourth son also. Yudah was swift in his youth, and obedient to his father in everything. And Yudah honored his mother and his mother's sister. And it came to pass, when he became a man, that his father gifted him, saying, Thou shalt be a king, prospering in all things. And the overseer showed him favor in all his works, both in the field and in the house. Yudah said, He raced a hind, and caught it, and prepared the meat for his father, and he did eat. And the roes he used to master in the chase, and overtake all that was in the plains. A wild mare he overtook, and caught it, and tamed it. He slew a lion and plucked a kid out of its mouth. He took a bear by its paw and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. He outran the wild boar, and seizing it as he ran, he tare it in asunder. A leopard in Hebron leaped upon his dog, and he caught it by the tail, and hurled it on the rocks, and it was broken in twain. He found a wild ox feeding in the fields, and seizing it by the horns, and whirling it round and stunning it, he cast it from him and slew it. And when the two kings of the Canaanites came, sheathed in armor, against their flocks, and much people with them, single-handed he rushed upon the king of Hazor, and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down. And so he slew him. And the other, the king of Tappuah, as he sat upon his horse, Yudah slew, and so he scattered all his people. Achor, the king, a man of giant stature, Yudah found, hurling javelins before and behind, as he sat on horseback. And Yudah took up a stone of 60 pounds weight, and hurled it, and smote his horse, and killed it. And Yudah fought with this other for 2 hours. And Yudah clave his shield in twain, and chopped off his feet, and killed him. And as Yudah was stripping off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with Yudah. And Yudah wound his garment on his hand, and Yudah slung stones at them, and killed 4 of them, and the rest fled. And Jacob his father slew Belsat, king of all the kings, a giant in strength, 12 cubits high, and fear fell upon them, and they ceased warring against Jacob. Therefore Yudah's father was free from anxiety in the wars when he was with Yudah's brethren. For Jacob saw in a vision concerning Yudah, that an angel of might followed Yudah everywhere, that he should not be overcome. And in the south there came upon them a greater war than that in Shechem. And Yudah joined in battle array with his brethren, and pursued 1,000 men, and slew of them 200 men, and 4 kings. And Yudah went up upon the wall, and he slew 4 mighty men. And so they captured Hazor, and took all the spoil. On the next day they departed to Artan, a city strong, and walled and inaccessible, threatening them with death. But Yudah and Gad approached on the east side of the city, and Reuben and Levi on the west. And they that were upon the wall, thinking that Yudah and his brethren were alone, were drawn down against them. And so Yudah and his brothers secretly climbed up the wall on both sides by stakes, and entered the city while the men knew it not. And they took it with the edge of the sword. And as for those who had taken refuge in the tower, they set fire to the tower, and took both it and them. And as Judah and his brethren were departing, the men of Tappuah seized their spoil, and seeing this they fought with them. And they slew them all, and recovered their spoil. And when Yudah was at the waters of Coseba, the men of Jobel came against them to battle. And Yudah and his brethren fought with them. And their allies from Shiloh they slew, and Yudah and company did not leave them power to come in against them. And the men of Machir came upon Yudah and company the 5th day to seize their spoil. And Yudah and company attacked them and overcame them in fierce battle, for there was a host of mighty men amongst them, and they slew them before they had gone up the ascent. And when Yudah and company came to their city, their women rolled upon them stones from the brow of the hill on which the city stood. And Yudah and Simeon hid themselves behind the town, and seized upon the heights, and destroyed that city also. And the next day it was told Yudah and company that the king of the city of Gash with a mighty host was coming against them. Yudah therefore and Dan feigned themselves to be Amorites, and as allies went into their city. And in the depth of night Yudah's brethren came, and they opened to them the gates, and they destroyed all the men and their substance. And they took for a prey all that was theirs, and their 3 walls. Yudah and company cast down. And Yudah and company drew near to Tamnah, where was all the substance of the hostile kings. Then being insulted by them, Yudah was therefore wroth, and rushed against them to the summit. And they kept slinging against Yudah stones and darts. And had not Dan his brother aided him, they would have slain him. Yudah and company came upon them, therefore with wrath. And they all fled. And passing by another way, they besought Jacob, and he made peace with them. And Yudah and company did to them no hurt. And they became tributary to Jacob, and they restored to them their spoil. And Yudah built Tamnah, and his father built Rabel. Yudah was 20 years old when this war befell, and the Canaanites feared Yudah and his brethren. And Yudah had much cattle, and Yudah had for chief herdsman Iram the Adullamite. And when Yudah went to him, he saw Bathshua, king of Adullam, and he spake unto them, and he made them a feast. And when Yudah was heated, he gave him his daughter Bathshua to wife. She bare him and Onan, and Shelah, and 2 of them the overseer smote, for Shelah lived, and his children are ye. The conflict between Jacob and Esau. And 18 years Yudah father abode at peace with his brother Esau, and his sons with them. After that they came from Mesopotamia, from Laban. And when 18 years were fulfilled, in the 40th year of Yudah's life, Esau, the brother of his father, came upon them with a mighty and strong people. And Jacob smote Esau with an arrow, and he was taken up wounded on Mount Seir. And as he went, he died at Adnonaram, and they pursued after the sons of Esau. Now they had a city with walls of iron and gates of brass, and Yudah could not enter into it, but encamped around and besieged it. And when they opened not to them in 20 days, Yudah and company set up a ladder in the sight of all, and with his shield upon his head, Yudah went up, sustaining the assaults of stones, upwards of 3 talents weight, and he slew 4 of their mighty men. And Reuben and Gad slew 6 others. Then they asked from Yudah and company terms of peace, and having taken counsel with their father, they received them as tributaries. And the defeated gave them 500 cores of wheat, 500 baths of oil, 500 measures of wine, until the famine, when they went down into Egypt. The story of Tamar. And after these things, Yudah's son took to wife Tamar from Mesopotamia, a daughter of Aram. Now was wicked, and he was in need concerning Tamar, because she was not of the land of Canaan. And on the third night an angel of the overseer smote him, and he had not known her according to the evil craftiness of his mother, for he did not wish to have children by her. In the days of the wedding feast, Yudah gave Onan to her in marriage, and he also in wickedness knew her not, though he spent with her a year. And when Yudah threatened him, he went in unto her, but he spilled the seed on the ground, according to the command of his mother. And he also died through wickedness. And Yudah wished to give Shelah also to her, but his mother did not permit it, for she wrought evil against Tamar, because she was not of the daughters of Canaan, as she also herself was. And Yudah knew that the race of the Canaanites was wicked, but the impulse of youth blinded his mind. And when he saw her pouring out wine, owing to the intoxication of wine, was he deceived, and took her, although his father had not counseled it. And while he was away, she went and took for Shelah a wife from Canaan. And when he knew what she had done, he cursed her in the anguish of his soul. And she also died through her wickedness, together with her sons. And after these things, while Tamar was a widow, she heard after 2 years that he was going up to shear his sheep, and adorned herself in bridal array, and sat in the city of Anam by the gate. For it was a law of the Amorites that she who was about to marry should sit in fornication 7 days by the gate. Therefore, being drunk with wine, he did not recognize her, and her beauty deceived him through the fashion of her adorning. And he turned aside to her, and asked if he could go in unto her. And she asked what he would give her. And he gave her his staff, and the girdle, and the diadem of his kingdom in pledge. And he went in unto her, and she conceived, and not knowing what he had done, wished to slay her, but she privately sent him pledges, and put him to shame. And when he called her, he heard also the secret words, which he spoke when lying with her in his drunkenness. And he could not slay her, because it was from the overseer. For he said, lest haply she did it in subtlety, having received the pledge from another woman. But he came not again near her while he lived, because he had done this abomination in all Israel. Moreover, they who were in the city said that there was no harlot in the gate, because she came from another place, and sat for a while in the gate. And he thought that no one knew that he had gone in to her. And after this they went into Egypt to Joseph, because of the famine. And Yudah was 46 years old, and 73 years lived he in Egypt. Yudah warns his sons against drunkenness, fornication, and the love of money. Yudah commanded his children, hearken to Yudah your father, and keep his sayings to perform all the ordinances of the overseer, and to obey the commands of the Most High, and walk not after your lusts, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts, in haughtiness of heart, and boast not in the deeds and strength of your youth, for this also is evil in the eyes of the overseer. Yudah also was pleased that in wars no comely woman's face ever enticed him, and reproved Reuben his brother concerning Bilhah, the wife of his father. The spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against Yudah, until he lay with Bathshua the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was espoused to Yudah's sons. The end of part 1, the Testament of Yudah.